Hey everyone, this video is going to be an actual review video. I have 7 movies here that I've watched everything possible on the discs. So let's just get started. First I have James Franco as James Dean. This is a TV movie. It was on TNT, and obviously it's about James Dean. It starts off when he is wanting to be a serious actor. He wants to go to the actor's studio, and he starts to get roles in small TV movies. There are some flashbacks when he's 9 years old when his mom dies, and his dad basically abandons him at his cousin, their aunt and uncle's house. This movie's really good. I wish it was a little bit longer, maybe went more in depth, but for what it is, it's good. There's not a lot of special features, unfortunately. I'm guessing that's because it is a TV movie. There's just director and cast film highlights and trailers for Giant and Rebel Without a Cause. So, yeah, James Dean. Oops. And then inside, there's just the disc. And there's a look at the back there. Then I have Sylvia. And this is about Sylvia Plath, the American poet and author. I recently read The Bell Jar, which is now in my top 5 favorite books. It's really good. I recommend this to anyone that wants to read it. This book is Sylvia Plath's only novel. The rest she has are books of poetry. And this is semi-autobiographical, which is a tongue twister to say. And after I read this, I just wanted to know everything about Sylvia Plath. I looked up a whole bunch of information on the internet, and then I found this, and I ordered it. And a lot of what is in this book actually did happen in Sylvia Plath's life, which I think is incredible and scary all at the same time. But this movie, focuses more on her relationship with Ted Hughes, who was her husband, and I'm sure they got a divorce. Unfortunately, I don't know enough about their relationship. I just know more information about Sylvia Plath herself. But at the end of this movie, there's some text information on what Ted Hughes did after her death. And it mentions a book called Birthday Letters, which is writing by the two of them, just basically about their relationship and how things were going, which they weren't going so great, even though there's a lot of people that knew them that said that they were so in love with each other, even if bad things were going on in their relationship. I think this is a really good movie. In the beginning, I really thought that it wasn't that great because I felt that it was a misrepresentation of her, and I was like, wow, this makes Sylvia Plath look really jealous and bitchy. But then I realized I don't know enough about their relationship to judge whether or not she was a bitchy person, I guess, and I'm sure that at times she was, because Ted Hughes had cheated on her. Yeah, but so that's the focus of the movie. If anyone, like me, I thought that it was going to be more just about her, because the title's Sylvia. So I guess it wasn't quite what I expected, but it was still really good. And there's no special features on it, unfortunately. There's the back, and the disc, which I really like that. So next, I have Girl Interrupted, which is so good. It's so good. I don't know if you could hear that. I decided to put this in front of my mouth, but it's really good. I read the book. I read the book in like a few hours, and then I watched the movie later that night, and it's just so good. The book, though, is more of a memoir. It's by Susanna Kaysen, and she's the main character in the movie, played by Winona Ryder. And so Susanna Kaysen, when she was 18 years old, she went to this psychiatrist, and it was the first time that they met each other, and within 30 minutes he sent her to McLean Hospital, which is famous for its methods of treatment and other patients that have been there. Sylvia Plath was actually one of the patients. She actually was there at a certain period of time that Susanna Kaysen was. So that's interesting. But a lot of people didn't think that this could be made into a movie because it is written like a memoir, because that's what it is. And the movie did a really good job of making it a story. So, this movie is really good. I probably said that like 5 times already, but it's true. Angelina Jolie won the Oscar for supporting role? Yeah, actress in a supporting role. So, other than that, it also has a really good cast. Winona Ryder, Angelina Jolie, Whoopi Goldberg, Vanessa Redgrave, Brittany Murphy, Jared Leto, Misha Collins is in it for like 3 minutes or something like that. He's in Supernatural, so that's why I mentioned him. And the dad from That 70s Show, I don't know the actor's name, unfortunately. Or I probably do, I just don't remember it very well. This comes with a lot of special features. There's a director's commentary. There are deleted scenes with commentary, which I feel like the deleted scenes really should be in the movie, but it's already 2 hours and 7 minutes, and I understand that they have to cut things out, but I'm glad that the deleted scenes are included, because they really should be in the film itself. There is an isolated music score, theatrical trailers, and talent files. And lastly, there's an HBO first look at the making of Girl Interrupted, which is really interesting because Susanna Kaysen was on set for a while, or at least she's interviewed for the HBO first look. And I always like it when they include the author of a book in the production if a movie is being based off of a book or novel or something like that. So, yeah, Girl Interrupted. And then just the disc inside. Next is In Cold Blood, which means I finished the book. And this is actually the only movie out of the 7 movies that I have here that is available on Blu-ray, unfortunately. I mean, it looks great. It really does. It looks so good. But I wish that, like, the rest of them were available on Blu-ray, too. But In Cold Blood, I finished it. I almost gave up. But, part 2, it's split up into 4 parts, and part 2 was just going really slow for me. And I almost gave up, and then I was like, no, stick to it. And I finished part 2, and then the rest of the book I read within, like, a couple days. So I was like, wow. That's probably a lot of time wasted just thinking about not wanting to read the rest of it, but I finished it, and I'm proud of myself for that. And for the plot, I'm just going to read the back of the book because I like what it says. So, on November 15th, 1959, in the small town of Holcomb, Kansas, 4 members of the Clutter family were savagely murdered by a blast from a shotgun held a few inches from their faces. There was no apparent motive for the crime, and there were almost no clues. As Truman Capote, who's the author, if you didn't know, there's a picture of him on the back in front of the Clutter house. As Truman Capote reconstructs the murder and the investigation that led to the capture, trial, and execution of the killers, he generates both mesmerizing suspense and astonishing empathy. In Cold Blood is a work that transcends its moment, yielding poignant insights into the nature of American violence. So, the movie, and the book, obviously, is based off of true events, which is, it's crazy to think about. And while I'm thinking about it, I don't know if it was a TV movie or if it was an actual feature film that, like, went in theaters, but there is a movie about Truman Capote, and because Philip Seymour Hoffman died a couple weeks ago, he won the Oscar for playing Truman Capote in a movie called Capote, and I feel like I just said that name like 10 times, But I watched that, I think, the year it came out. And it's really good. And so I think that's what basically pushed me to get this book and read it. And now I have the movie and I've watched the movie. So this movie looks amazing. Amazing. Black and white, I don't think it's available in color anyway, but it looks so good and it sounds good. I love the lighting, the directing, the music. It's all it's like sets a really good tone and mood for the whole thing. Unfortunately, there's no special features. There's a shot of the back. Oh, I'll zoom in a bit with trying not to get a glare. But at the bottom there's like the house, and then there are the killers. In Cold Blood, the book was really interesting because Truman Capote, he read like an article about what had happened in Kansas, and he flew there and he wanted to write a story about it, and he really interviewed people that knew the family and people who were in the investigation. And then when they got the killers, their names are Dick and Perry. Dick Hickok, which is like a terrible name, by the way, I think, and Perry Smith. Yeah, but he like thoroughly interviewed them, and it's really interesting to get insights on what they were thinking when everything was going on and beforehand. Just, yeah, it was good though. Next, I have The Outsiders. I love this movie. I have the book, but my friend's borrowing it, so I don't have it like with me. But The Outsiders, the complete novel. This is different from the just regular Outsiders. It has an extra like 24 minutes or something like that. And this is 2-disc special edition, The Outsiders, the complete novel. So there are a lot of special features included. Unfortunately, it doesn't have them like listed anywhere on the back or anything. But I know that there are 2 commentaries. One with the actor, a handful of the actors, Ralph Macchio, Patrick Swayze, Diane Lane, and C. Thomas Howell. And then like they were all in one room. And then later on, Rob Lowe was interviewed and did a commentary, and Matt Dillon did another one, and they put all 6 of the people's commentary like together. So that's just one, and then there's another one, and it's just with Francis Ford Coppola, and that one's really interesting. I like both of the commentaries a lot. What else is there for special features? There's casting footage. There's a video from the news. There was like a news story on the librarian and class that sent Francis Ford Coppola a letter. And they recommended him to make the movie. They were like, hey, this book's really good. You should make a movie based off it. And he did. And so that interview, news, broadcast was on the special features. And there's readings. A handful of the actors read like a part from the novel that describes their character. And that's all I remember, unfortunately. But there's a lot of special features. And yeah, on the inside, disc 1 just this has the movie and commentaries, and then disc 2 has the rest of the special features. And I think that most people know what this is, The Outsiders. But if you don't, it's about social class differences. That's kind of a main theme in it. I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. But I think the cast is awesome. There's C. Thomas Howell, who plays Ponyboy Curtis. That came out kind of weird, but yeah. Matt Dillon, Diane Lane, Ralph Macchio, Rob Lowe, Patrick Swayze, Emilio Estevez, Tom Cruise, and Leif Garrett. And those are just the names that are listed on the front. Yeah, so The Outsiders. And, sorry, yeah. Next I have The Virgin Suicides. I read the book, and this book's really good too. It is in my top 5 favorite books now. Not for everyone though. I heard a lot of people didn't like it because it's very character driven, not so much with plot, but I really liked it. And the author is Jeffrey, shoot, I looked up how to say his last name. Eugenides. There we go. Jeffrey Eugenides. And yeah, so I really like that book. And this is the film from 1999 with the directorial debut from Sofia Coppola. Yeah. Okay, I was making sure I said her name right. Because I used to say Coppola like Coppola for some reason. So I tend to say it that way, and then I'm like, wait, no, that's not how it's pronounced. But anyway, so, yeah, The Virgin Suicides. This is about 5 sisters, and they're all 1 year apart, and the youngest one commits suicide, and then a year later, the rest of the 4 sisters commit suicide, and the boys in the neighborhood kind of obsess over these girls, and yeah, see, it's not very plot driven, but that's the main premise of it. If it sounds like I didn't like the movie, I really did. I just had different expectations for it before I saw it. I guess if I had one complaint, I just don't like how Kirsten Dunst's character, it really seems like the main character, and it kind of focuses on her she has a relationship in the movie, and it kind of focuses on that, and I just don't like that, because I feel like it should be more about like all 5 sisters, and just what they're going through before the rest of them decide to commit suicide. Yeah, so I think that's the only thing that I didn't like about it. For the special features, there are 2 theatrical trailers, the making of The Virgin Suicides featurette, which is really interesting because they talk with Jeffrey Eugenides, yes, Eugenides, and he liked everything that was going on, and he found it all really exciting, and there's a lot of footage. Most of the featurette is of Sofia Coppola, and everything that she was going through, and it's awesome. Then there's a Playground Love music video. That's the name of the song. It's by Air, and the music video's pretty weird, honestly. There's like 2 pieces of chewed gum, and they're singing. Yeah, but I mean, it's interesting, I guess. Different, interesting. And then lastly, there's a photo gallery, which I really like a lot because you get to see more of the set and just the actors hanging out, having fun. So yeah, there is that. And then inside, there's just the disc. Lastly, I have Heart Huckabees, which is kind of confusing to explain. Difficult to explain. I don't find this movie confusing, but I know that my dad did. He was like, this is a good movie, although I have no idea what's going on. And my younger brother, I watched it with my family. Even though my mom didn't like it, even though she didn't really watch it. She started doing dishes, like, in the first 20 minutes, and we're like, she's making a lot of noise. What is going on? But she's like, this movie's stupid. And we're like, Mom, you watched like 10 minutes of it. Anyway, but my younger brother liked it a lot. So to describe the plot as best I can, Albert Markovsky is the main character, and he goes to these 2 existential detectives to figure out the meaning behind his coincidence. And from then, they kind of dig into his life, and things happen. But the cast is really good. It has Jason Schwartzman as Albert Markovsky. The 2 existential detectives are Dustin Hoffman and Lily Tomlin. Mark Wahlberg's in it. Naomi Campbell. Oops. Naomi Watts. I said Naomi Campbell because I've recently been watching Skins, so that was the first name that came to my head when I said Naomi. So sorry about that. Jude Law. Isabelle Huppert. That's how I would pronounce her last name because I took French, but yeah, I'm just gonna go with that. Yeah, so that's the cast, and yeah, this is the 2-disc special edition. The special features: Disc 1 has a full-length audio commentary by David O. Russell, a full-length audio commentary by David O. Russell, Jason Schwartzman, Mark Wahlberg, and Naomi Watts. Disc 2 has a production documentary, which is funny, it's funny. The Charlie Rose Show interview with David O. Russell, outtakes, detective infomercial, 22 deleted or extended scenes, a music video, and PSA commercials, trailers, and more. Yeah. I have a case that's broken, unfortunately. I feel like I get a lot of broken cases, but this thing comes out. So one side is full screen and one side is widescreen. And then there's a special features disc, scene selection, and then it comes with a little booklet. Let's see, this thing came out to, yeah. There's like existential detective information, a couple pages of that. Then there's poems, because Albert Markovsky is a poet and he writes about nature. Yeah. Petroleum information, because Mark Wahlberg's character is like, there's a petroleum problem, and that's all he talks about, basically. Huckabees information, which Huckabees is a store, the everything store. And then, like, Katerine Vauban's views. She's Isabelle Huppert's character, and she's another existential detective, except she's like really dark and says that nothing matters, while Lily Tomlin and Dustin Hoffman's characters are like, everything is connected, everything matters, and so they're like really light and she's really dark. They're kind of like opposites. Yeah, so there's like her views on the last couple pages of the booklet. And that is all I have to show you. And I will probably, I'm not making any promises because I know that I said that this video was going to be like at the end of last month and it just didn't happen. But I got a couple of movies yesterday, and then I should be getting a movie tomorrow or Wednesday. So I might just do like a shorter video with the 3 of those movies. Maybe the end of this month? I don't know. My brother's birthday is coming up, so I don't know when I'll have some time. I also think he's getting sick, which is really unfortunate. But thanks for watching, and comment, because comment a lot, hopefully, maybe. I just feel like these movies are more movies that people know about more than movies in my previous videos, so yeah. Okay, thanks for watching. Have an awesome day. Bye.